as we continue to talk about Jussie Smollett's case with criminal defense attorney April Preyar. Thank you so much for being with us. I know you were in the courtroom for this trial every single day. You saw how the defense laid out their arguments. You saw how the prosecution laid out their case. Are you surprised by this verdict?
I wasn't surprised. I was a little disappointed because I thought the defense did a good job of showing that there was no definitive thing, no text, no call, nothing showing that Jussie knew that this attack was going to happen. It really just came down to he say, he say. It was his word against the brothers, and I suppose that the jury believed the brothers over Jussie.
Why do you think that the jury decided that the brothers were more credible than Jussie?
Well, I think that I talked to another attorney earlier in the week. They said that the jury's like whodunits. And so the prosecution did a nice job of laying out lots of surveillance images and lots of still photos that really didn't amount to a whole lot other than circumstantial evidence. And so when you pair that with the brothers' testimony, then it looks like, okay, well, these brothers are saying what these surveillance images support, instead of saying these brothers are using the physical evidence to support their point of view.
So do you think in a case like this, it's really about finding guilt or innocence beyond a reasonable doubt? And was it the reasonable doubt that kind of put a cloud over this case?
I personally, after watching the trial the entire time, I thought that there was lots of doubt. I think that there were problems with the investigation done by Chicago police. I think that there were problems with the police putting the brothers up in a hotel for several days. That just simply doesn't happen even in murder cases. So I think that there were a lot of holes. There was no real... Their motive didn't make a lot of sense, that he did all of this to get the attention of the Empire studio, to make them take his hate mail that he received more seriously. But then you heard from people from the Empire set saying, no, we tried to push security on Jussie, and he really didn't like the attention. He really didn't like being followed by security. So the motive fell apart for me. And then at the very end, the prosecution then tried to change the motive to, oh, no, Jussie did this to start a race war, which simply didn't make any sense. And so you know, sitting through trial the entire time, seeing how Mr. Webb laid his case out, seeing how Mr. Uche and his team laid their case out, I really did think that there was doubt there.
Why was he found not guilty of that one count? How did that differ from the other 5?
We really don't know. So what happens is there are various subsections underneath a particular statute, and then with that, there are conditions or actions where you might get charged with the same offense. So they're all disorderly conducts. They're all filing a false police report, but one is filing a false police report about a hate crime. One is filing a false police report about an aggravated battery. That particular charge pertained to the aggravated battery, and in fact that the people were masked or hooded at the time of the aggravated battery. So who knows why the jury made a distinction there? This would have all probably come up in the same conversation that Jussie had with the investigators from the police department, the officers from the police department. It would have all been the same action, but for some reason, they cut him loose on that charge. And the jurors haven't talked yet, so who knows why that is.
Do you think he'll get sentenced to time behind bars, or do you think he'll just get probation?
He'll get probation. He's still a first-time offender, and it is rare to make it to almost 40 years old and never commit a crime and then suddenly be charged with a felony. Most judges are going to say, no matter how egregious the facts, we are still going to give you probation. This particular judge is certainly not going to sentence him to prison.
April Preyar, thank you so much for being with us. Thanks for making it very plain. All right, well, still ahead. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.